Fisher, a veteran head coach. He's actually looking, his next win will be his 100th win here at Whiteland High School. So a chance tonight for Coach Fisher and the Whiteland Warriors to hit a bit of a milestone, getting that 100th win here tonight. Artesian's going to try to keep them from doing that, as we're just about ready to get the coin toss, and then we'll kick off here in a couple of minutes. Artesians were led by senior quarterback number 8, Xavier Tinnitus. He is the second in the state with passing yards. He's got 1,520 yards through the air, passing it with a 69% completion percentage, 14 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So Xavier Tinnitus throwing the ball very well. His two favorite receivers, wide receiver number 31, Andy Myers, 35 catches, 627 yards, and 8 touchdowns. I mentioned in the last broadcast, we're about the halfway point of the season. The record for most touchdown receptions in a season for Martinsville is 16. So if Andy Myers can have the same second half of the season as he did the first half, he actually does have a legit shot at maybe catching the record for most touchdowns in a regular season. The other wide receiver, Xavier Tinnitus and the Artesian will look for number 81, Matt Thomas. He's got 34 catches, 442 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So both of those players going to be going down the sideline. Also, you're going to see number 87, Craig Wessner. He's got 14 catches, 146 yards. He actually had a really good game last week against Franklin. He's a really good slot receiver, good possession receiver. If you need that 5-6 yard reception to get the first down, Craig Wessner is the guy you're going to look for. So Artesians, they like to throw it in the air. You're going to see two different styles of offense here. Artesians, they love to throw it. Whiteland, they are a ground team. They love to run that fly offense, and I'll kind of try to do my best to explain that here in a moment. But their quarterback is Brant Coons. He has 183 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Now, Coons has only thrown the football 18 times. He only has 18 passing attempts in the entire year, and I would say Xavier Tinnitus has probably thrown it over 18 times each game. So very two different styles. Whiteland, they like to do the ground game. That fly offense, you're going to see a lot of different motion. You're going to see receivers go from the outside of the slot. They're going to go in motion. They're going to fake it to the motion guy. They're going to hand it off to him, or they're going to hand it off to the running back. Quarterback may keep it. They kind of lull you to sleep. Martinsville defense has to be disciplined. The way to defend the fly offense here against Whiteland, each man has a role, and you have to do that role, and you have to trust that your teammate will do their job. You have to be disciplined. Once your eyes start going toward a player who's maybe not your assignment, that's when you can get in trouble. So Artesian defense will have to be disciplined, and that's who we're going to see first, the Artesian defense. They're going to kick it off. So Martinsville will get it to start the second half, but you'll see the Martinsville defense get it started here for tonight's Mid-State Conference game. Whiteland has 6 or 7 players that have over 20 carries. So there's not one single star player that Whiteland has. They kind of like to spread it around. A lot of different players will carry the football. And we're going to try an onside kick and a high one, and it's battled, and I think Whiteland got it. That was a great onside kick by Martinsville. That got the bounce that you wanted, and just Martinsville couldn't get their hands on it. But a great onside kick, a nice way to start the game. Nice call by Coach Whitson and his coaching staff. It's exactly the way you want that onside kick to go. Got the high bounce and went off the hand of a Whiteland player. Just Martinsville couldn't jump on it quick enough. So here we go. We will see the Whiteland Warriors coming out. It is a hot and sticky night for football. You'd think middle of the season, we're officially in the autumn season, but it feels like middle of July, summer. It's probably in the 80s right now. Usually the fly, hands it off up the middle, and right there's a hole, and on the first play, possibly a touchdown-saving tackle there. Number 23 for Whiteland, he gets the first carry. 14-yard pickup there. So that's the start Whiteland wants, a big hole up the middle. Melvin Taylor was the ball carrier there. They give it to him again. This time Martinsville stuffs him a little bit. He gets a few yards, but not much. The second carry for Taylor. Goes for about 4 yards. Second and 6. Artesians, you'll see a lot of changes on defense, especially I've mentioned the injuries that Martinsville has sustained, especially with their linebacking core. Jacob Burkett, number 30, still in there, the only starting linebacker left. I believe number 1, Ethan Potteroff, who normally is a defensive back in there at linebacker. They do hand it off to the sweep, and nice job. Nice by the Artesians on that far side. Not much running room there. Gavin Lutz was the ball carrier. Only got about a yard, so you got a 3rd down opportunity here. Good job by that far side defense to get that stop.
Slowly zoom in here, Raina. Or Mackenzie. I'm sorry. Raina, you can zoom out. Mackenzie, zoom in.
3rd down, they hand it off up the middle. Enough for the 1st down.
The fly guy, the guy, if I say fly, it's the guy in motion. Okay, back to camera 1. Okay. Yeah.
So another 1st down for Whiteland.
Is it what?
And this is what Whiteland does. They just keep it on the ground and try to ground and pound you. But watch out for the pass. Sometimes they'll lull you to sleep and throw it, but they give it to Taylor right up the middle. And there he goes, and that will be a 33-yard score, and just like that. Whiteland scores, and that is the way that this offense is supposed to be run for Whiteland. Artesians just couldn't get the stops, and most of the damage was from Melvin Taylor up the middle. Had a carry for 14 yards, and then that touchdown that you just saw went for 33 yards as Whiteland scores first. They've got a 6-0 lead.
So it should be PRST, and then does it say 5.6 in the viewfinder? PRST 5.6 in the viewfinder.
Extra point for Whiteland. Slow snap. Kick is up, but it looks good, and it is. So 7-0 is your score.
Just follow somebody for us. I'm going to go to you, Olivia. And Raina, I'm going to get ready to go to you. Raina, I'm on you. Good. Okay, just follow that person.
So Martinsville, the offense will have some pressure.
And to get out in front of him a little bit. So yeah, zoom a little
As the
bit.
defense gave up a quick score there. So it'll be up for the Martinsville offense. Now, the injuries for the Artesians, most of it's on the defensive side. So your offense, for the most part, is pretty well intact, but still the defense needs to find a way to get a stop. Unfortunately, against Franklin last week, they only got 1 stop against the Grizzly Cubs. They were able to score every other time they touched the football, except for the very end where they just took a knee in the 4th quarter. But the Artesian defense is going to have to find a way to get a stop. The other thing that Coach Whitson talked about during the coaches show with Eric Meyer earlier this week is Martinsville hasn't forced a turnover in 3 games, and they're in a 3-game losing streak. So that's maybe something that is not a coincidence. So Artesians are going to try to have to do something to force a turnover, do something. And that's a high kick. That's going toward the sideline, but Andy Myers will pick it up. He gets it out across the 20. At the 22-yard line is where Martinsville offense will start.
Okay, good. I'm going to go to you, Raina. Good. Yeah, get out of it. There you go.
So thank you if you're watching us live on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel.
No. You go up.
If you're a Martinsville fan and didn't make the trip, we appreciate you watching.
Well, they'll move here in a second. Once they move, then you can get, like, you can go to the right.
Hands it off. Tyler Cox spins, moves, and gets maybe 3 yards on that carry.
Our running back 28 back. Hold up, look, there you go. Good job right now. Keep going with it. That's okay.
But a 2-yard pickup, actually. So 2nd and 8 will be the
Yeah, you can go there.
down and distance for the Artesians.
So just pay attention because you have the sky in the background, Olivia.
Tyler Cox had a nice game last week. He struggled a couple games just getting the ground game working, but last week really had a nice job, get him in space, and did a nice job on the sideline, and now he's going to the 50, still on his feet, still going at the 30, and finally pushed out of bounds at the 20. Great run there by Tyler Cox.
Reyna try to get him. 20.
Near the first down. About a 6-yard reception there for Matt Thomas. Xavier, quick pass to Andy Myers. Andy Myers spins, still on his feet, still going and dives forward near the 40-yard line.
31 somebody.
About a 15-yard reception there for Andy Myers.
Now you're good. You're fine. 28 has it.
Tyler Cox around the right side. Falls forward for about a 3 or 4 yard pickup there.
Okay, I'm going to go to somebody. I'm going to go to 2. Yep. Good job, Reyna. Stay on 28. He's fine. He knows. You're on. Back to camera 1.
Second down play here for the Artesians. Fake the pass and hands it off to Tyler Cox. Tyler Cox up the middle. Near the first down marker. It's going to be awfully close. I think he got it. He did get it. 7 yards for Tyler Cox. Another first down for the Artesians. I do apologize if you're trying to watch us the live stream. We do not have the best Wi-Fi connection up here, so it may not be the best connection. So if you're having some trouble watching that live stream, it is on our end, so we do apologize for that. If we can get that corrected, we will. Stay tuned with us. First down for the Artesians. Play action here. Xavier's got plenty of time. Great job of the offensive line. Here comes a flag, though. Throws it up to Craig Wesner. Overthrows him, but there is a penalty flag. And it's going to be a holding against the Artesians. Maybe that's why Xavier tonight has had great protection. Holding call on the offensive line.
Follow that guy since you're falling back to 1. Yeah, 15-yard penalty.
So that will move the Artesians back 10 yards, and that's a tough one on first down. That puts you at 1st and 20 from the Artesians' own 39-yard line. If you're just now joining us, 7-2. It's an odd score, but Whiteland, when they got the football, marched down the field all on the ground. Scored a touchdown. The Artesians got in the red zone. Interception in the end zone, but Whiteland made the mistake of running it out and then went back in, and that became a safety. So that's how the Artesians got 2 points. Nice pass there to Andy Myers. He makes a few men miss. Still going, runs into a blocker. Still on his feet going on the far sideline and tackled out of bounds. That's going to be a first down. There is a flag here on the near the Artesian sideline. I believe this is going to be a late hit, and it sure is. So that's a 15-yard penalty, so 15 more yards for Martinsville. And Artesian offense been able to march down the field. This is about where they were last time. Maybe not quite, maybe not this far, but threw it in the interception in the end zone. Hopefully Xavier Tinnitus clean things up a little bit. 6:40 to go here in the first quarter. Artesians looking to get in the end zone for the first time. Down 7-2 against the Whiteland Warriors. Quick pass to Matt Thomas. Matt Thomas, middle of the field, catches it. Second down coming up for the Artesians. Tyler Cox in the backfield to the left of Xavier Tinnitus. They do hand it off to him. Looked like it was an option. Xavier kind of didn't know if he wanted to hand that off or not, but Tyler Cox maybe got a yard. So now we got a third down. This is 4-down territory for the Artesians, so if they don't get the first down here, and Whiteland jumped. Nice hard count, I believe, by Xavier Tonitis. So that will give the Artesians a first down. So Whiteland with some early mistakes here in the first quarter. The Artesians will take it. A couple of penalties, then the safety that was basically all on Whiteland. First down, though, for the Artesians. That's a fifth first down for Martinsville compared to only 2 for Whiteland. Xavier, he's going to hand it off to Tyler Cox. Tyler still on his feet and gets it inside the 5-yard line. An 11-yard carry there for Tyler Cox. It's a nice little play. It looks like kind of reverse play action where Xavier looks to pass and then hands it off. They're going to give it to Tyler Cox again. Tries to go in the middle. Nowhere to go there. Brought down by number 55 of Whiteland, right in the middle. So second goal for the Artesians. Plenty of time. They will look to the sideline for the play. Ten seconds on the play clock. Xavier still getting the right play call from the sideline, and now we're going to get a whistle. And Martinsville will call their first timeout of the half. Coach Whitson wants to make sure that Martinsville gets in the end zone here on this second and goal. You need to have a touchdown here. You can't come away with 0 points. 4:28 left to go in the first quarter. Artesians looking to score. Tyler Cox has looked really good in this first quarter. Had that long run of 55 yards in the first series, and this series has had a run of 7 and 11 yards. Also, Xavier Tonitis has looked good after that first interception. Matt Thomas and Andy Myers both with 2 receptions. Xavier Tonitis, 4 of 5. That only incompletion was the interception on the first drive of the Artesians. You got Andy Myers on that far side. You get Polston, Craig Wesner, and then Matt Thomas in the slot. Look at Matt Thomas there in the slot. Big guy. Let's see if they go to him, if they pass it. Instead, they hand it off to Tyler Cox. He was awfully close, but they're going to say he was just shy of it. He needed 5 yards. He got 4. And now they're going to hand it off to Tyler Cox again. This time he does get in for the touchdown. No doubt about that one. Tyler Cox with the score. And that's the 4th rushing touchdown for Tyler Cox on the season, and the Artesians have an 8-7 lead. And now we've got a flag coming late. This was kind of thrown at the Artesian sideline, and that may be another sideline warning. I'm not for sure. The penalty flag was thrown, but I don't see a play call, so I believe that's a sideline warning. Whiteland had a sideline warning earlier. Coach Whitson trying to get the explanation.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go to you here, Olivia, once we run. Just don't get run over. No, you can stay.
So each team with a sideline warning. Coach Whitson wants an explanation from the referee. And here's the replay. Kind of a quick snap, and Tyler Cox went around that left side of the offensive line. Nice blocking up front by the Artesians. And that gives him his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, first of the night. And now the Artesians going to try to go up 2 points. Jackson Fry going to try to put this through the uprights. Snap and hold look good. Jackson Fry puts it up, and it's good. Jackson Fry with the extra point. And a little extra applause from the Martinsville crowd as kicking woes have kind of hurt the Artesians at times, but that time Jackson Fry knocked it through. Rare situation here in the broadcast booth. Most of the time we're on the home sideline, but Whiteland has their own little press box on the visiting sideline as well. So we're actually on the Martinsville sideline tonight for an away game. That's kind of a rare thing, but we enjoy it. Martinsville crowd looks to be strong despite the 3-game losing streak. Martinsville community bringing full force here to Whiteland. So Martinsville with a 9-7 lead. Now it's time for the defense to tighten some things up. Fortunately they've had plenty of rest on the sideline as they basically got 2 drives to rest here. Now last time Artesian had it, they tried an onside kick, and it was a great onside kick, but almost had too high of a bounce, bounced over, and they're going to try it again, but from the other side, and onside kick taken at the 45. So 2 onside kick attempts, and both have not been successful, and Whiteland will have the football in Artesian territory to start. And that's been a tough thing for Martinsville all season. They've given the opposing team great starting field position, and they struggle with starting field position, and that's kind of been the way the game's gone so far in this first quarter. They hand it off to the jet sweep. Nice job of the Artesian. I think they string that out and only get maybe a yard on that. Nice job of the Artesian defense. Jacob Burkett in there, Anthony Talent in there also. Only a 1-yard run on that carry. Like I said, this defense, you just have to have an assignment. You know, your job could maybe be the running back or the slot receiver, and wherever that player goes, you have to follow. No matter where the football looks to be going, that's your guy. You've got to follow him. This defense is all about discipline if you want to beat this Whiteland offense. Coach Fisher's been around a long time. Hands it off this time up front to Taylor. Taylor will jump step and gets it to about the 40-yard line. So the way he's run the football, that's actually a good stop because he's had some huge runs. It's about a 5-yard pickup there for Taylor, but his last run went for 33 yards into the end zone. So Artesians with a 3rd down opportunity here. Now, I'm guessing Whiteland's probably in 4-down territory, so if you're Artesian defense, you got to be thinking you're going to need 2 stops. And that would be great if you could, because that defense has been on the field for a long time. They hand off, and there's a whistle. Referee near the Artesian sideline, and this looks like it could be going against Whiteland. And it is. Legal formation by the Warriors will move them back 5 yards. So that 3rd and 4 now becomes 3rd and 9.
3rd and 9. Yeah. What? Is somebody talking to me?
Artesian fans trying to make some noise here on this sideline. 3rd and 9, 2:36 left to go in the first quarter. Man in motion going left, and he stops. Nice job, the Artesians forcing a 4th down, maybe got a yard on that run. Nice job by that defensive line on the right side. Now Whiteland is actually bringing out their punting unit, 4th and long. You get Craig Wesner back for the Artesians. So Whiteland showing punt right now, but you kind of want to be ready for anything where the football is in Artesian territory, this portion of the field. You never know what will happen. And it will be a punt. And it's a high punt, and that is going to, what a punt there. That took a backwards bounce, and that just deadened inside the 10-yard line. So Artesians will not have the best starting field position. But Artesians did not have great starting field position last time, and they were able to march it downfield and end up in the end zone. But a great job by that defensive unit that last time. After getting basically gashed in that first drive, Whiteland marched down the field and scored in a hurry. This time the defense tightens things up, or disciplined football, and forces the punt. So great job by defensive coordinator Coach McKinney and that defensive unit to force Whiteland to punt it. Now their Artesian offense back on the field, and this is great because that Whiteland defense, they were on the field for a long time, and now Artesian's going to try a little jet sweep of their own. Matt Thomas, not a whole lot of running room there. Actually, I think Matt Thomas went backwards a yard. So that jet sweep, not what Martinsville wanted. Negative 1 yard, so 2nd and 11 with her back against their own end zone. Xavier will hand it off. Tyler Cox cuts back in the middle, and he gets it across the 10 to the 11. So about a 6-yard run there for Tyler.
Raina, stay there with him. I'm going to go to 2.
3rd down for the Artesians. 3rd and about 6 for Martinsville. They'll have to run one more play before the end of the first quarter. This is it. Plenty of time on the play clock. They may take their time. 20 seconds left, so we'll see how patient Martinsville offense is before they snap this. 24 on the game clock. Tyler Cox has run the football nice this first quarter. I know it's 3rd and 6, but I would not ignore giving it to him. They're going to pass it, though, and Xavier's in a little bit of trouble, and he will go down.
Okay, so I'm going to go to camera 2.
So that will end the first quarter on a sour note for the Artesians, but they do lead it against the Whiteland Warriors 9-7. We'll have a 4th down coming up in the second quarter right after this.
Our definition of a relationship is being able to look you in the eye and hear about your concern, hearing about your family, hearing about your job, hearing about your aspirations, getting to know you, and positioning ourselves to help you meet those dreams. Now that sounds pretty old-fashioned, but we're not willing to give that up. We're simply not going to give that up.
For all the banking services you need, there's no place like home.
Join the majority.
And welcome back, everyone, WREP 15 Sports. And if you're watching us live on MHS Rewind YouTube channel, we appreciate that. Tough spot for Martinsville right now. 4th and 12 from their own 3. Matt Thomas is back to punt. Dangerous spot for the Artesians after the quarterback sack was given up on 3rd down, but a 6-yard loss. So Matt Thomas is going to do his best. Just keep it. Just get out of the end zone, Matt. Nice snap, Matt. End over end punt. That's good. Maybe that'll take an Artesian bounce or not. Not really. So that'll roll to about the 45-yard line, which that's kind of where Whiteland started this each offensive possession in the first quarter after Artesians, when they kick it off, have tried the onside kick. Both of those unsuccessful. So really not a different spot for the Artesian defense to be in. This is where Whiteland's started most of the night. So nice job by Matt Thomas to secure the football and punt that out of the back of the end zone. Nice job by the center as well to snap that, not fired over his head. That's ball as the center. Well, toss play here, and nice hit there. Great tackle.
Somebody came flying in there.
Number 34, Bo Hess, the linebacker, came from his spot. 1 yard loss. Great tackle by Bo Hess. He's one of those players that's getting a little bit more playing time due to all the injuries to the Artesian defense, and he just proved that he belonged right there. 2nd 11, they hand it off the inside of Taylor, and Artesians do get a stop. They don't give up the big play. Once again, Hess in there on the tackle along with another Artesian defender. Seven-yard run there, so that makes it 3rd and 4. Artesian defense, can they do it again, get another stop? Early on here in this second quarter, under center is Whiteland. They hand it off and tried to cut it back inside. It's going to go backwards. I think it's Bo Hess again, number 34. So a negative 1 yard run there after the hit by Bo Hess. And keep an eye on number 34. He's had 2 or 3 outstanding plays in this series alone, and it's 4th down, and Whiteland's going to look to punt it again. Wesner's back there. Now 4th and 5. You got to be careful here, Whiteland. Like I said, they are in a good position to fake if they want. They will trust their defense and punt it, but that is going to go into the end zone. So that will give Artesian some breathing room to start finally, after Whiteland has done a good job in the kicking game to pin Martinsville back. And that's another great stop by this Artesian defense. See there in your camera shot, it's Chase Havlin, former Martinsville Artesian defensive end, now playing at Indiana State, helping coach up this defense a little bit.
Okay, so Ash, after this play, I'm going to have you flip the filter.
Doing a nice job, Coach McKinney. Chase Havlin have to like what they see there on the sideline. Xavier passes it on the far sideline. Matt Thomas makes a few men miss. Still on his feet, still going. Across the 30, rolls near the 35-yard line. 13-yard passing catch there. Artesian's trying to go a little quicker here, pick up the tempo. This is what Coach Whitson likes to do, especially after your offense has gone 3 and out 2 times. The defense may be a little more gas. Now Xavier's going to roll with it. He just needs to throw it away, and he actually gets in the hand of Andy Myers, who juggles it and does catch it, but I don't think he's going to give much. So he will get a reception, but I don't think he's going to get any yardage. Xavier hands it off up the middle. Tyler Cox gets it across near the first down. It's going to be close. It's going to be a 9-yard pickup. And they go quick here. Tyler Cox. And that time not as much, but did he get enough for the first down? Actually, they got a second push, and he will have more than enough for the first down now. Tyler Cox kept the legs rolling. And fell forward for an extra 2 or 3 yard gain. Looks like he was going to get stopped for maybe a yard. Ended up with a 2 or 3 yard pickup on that one. 12 carries for Tyler Cox. They've all been good. He's only had 1 carry that's gone nowhere. Everything else is going forward. Xavier Tonitis, he's going to roll to his right. He's looking. He's going to bomb it. He's got Craig Wesner, who catches it on the far sideline.
87 on you, Olivia. Stay on him. Did they say he was out of bounds?
And they're going to say Craig Wesner was out of bounds. He caught it, but
Back to one. I'm on to one, yeah. So Ash, you guys.
they're going to say that Wesner could not keep his feet in bounds. So incomplete pass. It's only the second incomplete pass for Xavier Tinnitus. Would have been a great pass and catch from Tinnitus to Wesner, but couldn't just stay in the field of play. This time a quick little screen to Andy Myers. This has worked plenty of times before across the 50. About an 8-yard pickup there. So 3rd and 2 coming up for the Artesians. Coming on the field for Martinsville, I see Jalen Arthur. Seven and a half minutes to go here, second quarter. Artesians playing nicely. It's Josh Ham in motion, and little miscommunication. Tyler Cox gets it, but there was some collision between the man in motion and Tyler Cox. They collided with each other, and fortunate didn't turn it over. So they're going to go for it. Xavier Tinnitus under center. They got Whiteland to jump again. The second time the hard count works for Xavier Tinnitus. And it's a first down for Martinsville after the penalty on Whiteland. The second time this half that that's happened.
Back to camera one, okay. So yeah, Olivia, you may have to back. Yeah, there you go. Change, ready to come your way.
So another first down for the Artesians, and here they go. Little play action, Xavier. He's going to throw it with a man in his face. He's got...
Touchdown. Okay, did anybody follow that? I'm going to go to you, Olivia. I'm on you, Olivia.
Matt Thomas did not catch it. I didn't think he did, but there was a lot of celebrating going on here in the press box, but I did not think he got it. He could not hang on. That ball was thrown almost perfectly because there was about 3 or 4 defensive backs around where Matt Thomas was. I really thought that could be intercepted, but Xavier Tinnitus put it exactly where he needed to. But Matt Thomas could not hang on, so we got second down. And Tyler Cox gets it to at the 40-yard line. About a 3-yard pickup there. So another third down, but this time for the Artesians, it's 3rd and long, 3rd and 7, 6.5 minutes to go here. First half, Artesians lead it 9-7. Xavier back to pass. He's going to set up a screen. He's got Tyler Cox who gets it across the 35. It's going to be close, but it's going to be a 4th down. It's about 6 yards. Tyler Cox with that reception. They're going to go quick. Xavier. Did he have enough for the first? It looks like it. Let's get the official call. He needed 1. Officials are saying to, and they got it. Xavier Tinnitus runs for the first down. So another first down for the Artesians. Artesian offense just grinding this out. They're typically a team that likes big plays and score fast, but they're kind of been grinding it out. A little screen to Andy Myers and not much there as Andy Myers had the reception but didn't get much. Maybe a yard. I guess that's where they'll give it to him. That screen pass, the Artesians like to run that, and they've had some success with it, but just tonight just has not really hit the big play that Artesians have seen in previous games. That time got about a yard on that. The second down coming up for Martinsville. 5:06 to go. This Whiteland defense has been on the field for an awfully long time. Tyler has it around the left side. Now he goes back in. He gets across the 20, still fighting for extra yards. down around the 15-yard line. A 17-yard run there for Tyler Cox. Gonna give it to him again up the middle. That time not as much room. Maybe a yard. Trying to run that play quick. Got about a yard there. Tyler Cox will come off the field to get a little breather. Ethan Potter up back there now for the Artesian, but it's going to be a pass. The back of the end zone off the hand. I think that was Polston who he tried to hit.
Stay with him, that's good. And then I'm going to go to you, Raina. Good.
So 3rd and 8 coming up for Martinsville. Like I said, Tyler Cox getting a little bit of a breather. Ethan Potter off number 1 back in the backfield. Usually Weston Pemberton or Will Nix would be back there, but they're both injured. So you've got Matt Thomas who stretches out. Are they going to give him a touchdown? They do. Matt Thomas with a touchdown reception, 11-yard pass from Xavier Tinnitus. And the big body of Matt Thomas stretches his arms out, gets across the goal line for the score. It's 15-7 with 3:50 left to go in the first half here.
Did anybody follow?
And Jackson Fry in for the extra point. He is 1 for 1 so far tonight. Can he make it 2 for 2?
Okay. I'll zoom out.
Snap and hold look good. Jackson Fry boots it, and it's good. Jackson Fry 2 for 2. Artesians might have a kicker. 16-7 is your score. You see the sun starting to set here at Whiteland High School, and the Artesians enjoying it, 16-7. And you see the replay here. Xavier Tinnitus, a quick strike, and Matt Thomas, see him stretch out those arms, get across the goal line. Great effort there by Matt Thomas for the score. The Artesians playing probably their best half of football maybe since that second half against Bloomington South. Like I mentioned, they're in the midst of a 3-game losing streak. I know the coaching staff and all the players want to stop it right here tonight and ruin Whiteland's homecoming. Let's see what Martinsville does here. They have attempted 2 onside kicks and have not been successful in either one. And they're going to try it again. Gets a bounce. And can the Artesians recover? Ball still loose. Andy Myers, can he get on top of it? He does. Andy Myers does. And the onside kick is recovered by the Artesians. And a flag is thrown late. And that was a great, once again, another great onside kick. This time, though, the Artesians are able to pounce on it after the ball rolled about 15, 20 yards. Andy Myers is able to get on top. Now, there was a flag after the play. So this is probably going to be some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct penalty or some type of personal foul. And here's the replay on the onside kick. You see it bounce off a Whiteland player. Ball kind of squirts away, and you can't quite see it in that shot, but Andy Myers is racing down that Martinsville sideline trying to get it. The ball should be Martinsville's. Right now it's at the 35-yard line, but the officials are discussing the penalty, like I said, that was thrown after the play. So we'll have to see what the official call is. The official seems to be motioning to Whiteland, so this penalty is going to be against Whiteland. So not only does Martinsville recover the onside kick, but it looks like the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty or personal foul penalty is going to go against Whiteland. It's a personal foul penalty. So the Artesian offense back on the field, and they get the ball at the Whiteland 20-yard line. So a great chance for the Artesians to put more points on the board here to close out this half. There's still 3 minutes, 45 seconds left to go. Xavier Tinnitus at quarterback. Tyler Cox fakes it to him. He wants it all right now. It's Andy Myers, but it is thrown out of bounds well out in front of Andy Myers. Xavier Tinnitus and Martinsville, they were going for the kill shot there as they've got all the momentum.
Why don't you go to the gain on the side of your camera and switch it up? I'm on one. Switch your gain to M.
What a half for the Artesians. And you haven't seen them much, but you got to give your hands to the defense as Tyler Cox on the outside, breaks one tackle, cuts back inside, and gets a few positive yards there. Tough yards for Tyler Cox. Maybe gets 3 yards on that carry.
That's fine. You can just stay where you are.
Third down coming up for the Artesians, but the defense, they've gotten back-to-back 3 and outs, and you haven't seen much of them. That's a good thing because they've been doing their job. And Martinsville has been stringing together some long drives that have been successful. Craig Wesner in motion, still 13 seconds on the play clock. Artesian still 2 timeouts. They're not going to use it. Xavier, a little delay there, hands it off to Tyler Cox. Tyler Cox, there's a flag coming from the back of the from the referee there behind the play. Tyler Cox with a nice run, would have been a first down, but this might be coming back, and it is going to be a holding call on the Martinsville Artesians, so that's going to move things back a little bit, and we're going to do third down over again. It's a nice run by Tyler Cox. I think he would have had the first down. So we see Nigel Bryant coming onto the field for Wesley Badger as Badger comes off.
So we're going to move back a little bit there.
And it looks like there was a timeout's going to be called again for Whiteland. So Whiteland will use their first timeout of the half. So we'll have 3rd and 13 coming up from the Whiteland 24-yard line. So Artesians looks to be into 4-down territory, so maybe you can make it a 4th and manageable. We'll see what Coach Whitson, their play call is here. Tyler Cox absolutely doing a nice job in this first half. He has 17 carries, has a long run of 55 yards. That was early on in the first quarter. But he's put together some nice runs, just some solid runs, nothing going backwards for Tyler Cox, which is always good to see. Xavier Tinnitus throwing the ball really nice. So here we go. 3rd and 13. This might be one of those plays you look for Craig Wesner. Like I said, he's a good slot receiver. You know, gets you that 6-7 yards, maybe makes this 3rd and 13 if 4th down comes up a little bit more manageable. We'll see what Artesians do here. Xavier's going to roll to his right. Quick pass, and it is to Craig Wesner. Craig Wesner gets it to about the original line of scrimmage. So that's maybe a 4 or 5 yard pickup there for Craig Wesner. So it's 4th down, but now it's 4th and 8. So Artesians out there right now. They've got Whiteland to jump a couple times on a hard count. If they do this time, it's still not going to be enough for a first down. So 7 seconds on the play clock. 6 now. In motion is Matt Thomas. And Coach Whitson going to call a timeout with 1 second left to go on the play clock. So Artesians do not run a play, and it is 2 minutes, 1 second, and 4th and 8. So Coach Whitson now will talk things over with his offense.
Get to you here in just a second. Olivia, zoom out a little bit. Okay, I'm on you, Olivia.
So they just announced over the PA system a great game just down the road on 31. Franklin hosting Mooresville, and that game is tied 21-21. That's a big mid-state conference matchup there between the Grizzly Cubs and the Pioneers. Artesians, they will not see the Pioneers for another 2 weeks. Their next game is at Perry Meridian High School. Whiteland, on the other hand, they are at Mooresville next week, so they will see the Pioneers next Friday night. So Artesian offense trots back there. Jackson Fry is 2 for 2 for extra point, but this would be about a 36-yard field goal. Don't know if Jackson Fry quite has the leg for that. So 4th and 8, Artesians will try to get this first down and keep this drive alive. At the very least, you hope that you don't have a turnover, but Whiteland would have to take over around their own 20-yard line with 2 minutes left. So Artesians in a good position regardless of what happens here. Xavier. He's got a man. He's got Matt. Oh, he had Andy Myers wide open there and had a little quick feet and threw it away.
I'm gonna go to.
It's unfortunate. Andy Myers was wide open. I don't know if Xavier just didn't see him or he was looking for something more in the end zone. But Andy Myers was wide open there, and I don't think he would have had enough for the first down there. But he had a lot of space around him to. He could have, I think, ran for close to the first down. It would have made it an interesting play, but Artesians cannot convert. And Whiteland offense will come back on the field, but the Artesian defense has had a nice rest, and the offense has not been able to do a whole lot so far in this first quarter. And they fake the jet sweep, and nice job, Artesians tackling that play up the middle. Got a 3-yard carry there. Nice job of the Artesian defense again. Whiteland, they're not a team to built to go down the field in a hurry. So as long as you can just limit any big running plays, you should feel pretty confident. As, like I said, their quarterback for Whiteland, and that's Brant Coons. He's only thrown it 18 times, so he's not one to air it out. But you got to watch out. You can't give up a big run play here. Coons, he will throw it, like I said, in the middle of the field. This could be trouble. You got to get a stop. And finally brought down. A huge pass play there.
Stay on 21 there. Back to 1.
So under a minute now, and that's, as I said, that Whiteland really not one to move down the field in a hurry with a pass play. They find a receiver there open in the middle of the field, and he's able to take it. And there is a penalty flag now, so that'll stop the clock. I was trying to count the yardage of that play. That was a 60-plus yard pass play for Coons and the Whiteland Warriors. And this penalty is going to go against the Warriors, so they, in this first half, just kind of keep shooting themselves in the foot. Had a big play there, then went backwards. And unfortunately, that secondary kind of having some players play other positions that they're maybe not used to. And Whiteland was able to find a little soft spot right in the middle of that zone. And the receiver was able to take it all the way down inside the red zone. Now the penalties backed it out of the red zone a little bit. So Whiteland still has 2 timeouts left. We're under a minute to go here in the first half. Artesians have played a phenomenal first half here, minus that first series where Whiteland was able to march down the field, a couple run plays and a quick touchdown. But Artesians got a break after the interception from Tinnitus, and then the mistake that Whiteland made is running the football out of the end zone and went back in for a safety. And now we're going to have a discussion here by the officials. Not sure what's going on here. So the referee and Coach Whitson having a discussion. and unfortunately I saw the penalty flag, but I did not see what the penalty was. So it was a legal substitution is what I've heard up here in the press box, and that was the penalty play. So Coach Whitson not sure if he's discussing the penalty or the yardage or both, but this is the one thing that you hate to see just because it just kills the game for both sides. The referees having to discuss everything, and I understand they want to get it right. I get that, but sometimes it just takes way too long to discuss things. You got to have a discussion with both coaches, and you have to have a discussion with all the officials, and now we're finally ready to play football. Clock's running, so Whiteland, they're going to try to move quick. Artesians need to do everything they can to keep Whiteland out of the end zone, and now we've got another stoppage of play, and it's a timeout, Martinsville, Coach Whitson. So a lot of timeouts here in this latter part of the first half. Makes it tough for a solo broadcaster up here in the booth to fill time, but Coach Whitson really wants to make sure his defense is in the right position at the right spots because you're really trying to keep the momentum you've built in this first half. Other than that first series, like I said, the momentum has all been Martinsville. They've recovered an onside kick. They've scored 2 touchdowns. They have kept their offense on the field and kept the Whiteland offense off the field. So Martinsville in this first half has done just about everything right, and the last thing you want to do is give up a score here late in the first half to give the momentum back to the Whiteland Warriors heading into the locker room. Regardless of what happens here, the Artesians will go into the locker room more than likely with a lead. If Whiteland scores, the Artesians have 16 points thanks to that safety, so they will have a halftime lead more than likely unless something really crazy happens. Whiteland, though, fakes and he's got a man wide open and he overthrows it. That would have been a touchdown. That was a for sure touchdown, and Coons just overthrew his intended receiver. Whiteland's number 1 was running down the kind of the right side slot, Gavin Lutz, wide open, and Coons just overthrew him. So Artesian defense secondary need to tighten things up because that was a touchdown waiting to happen. Fortunately for Martinsville, Whiteland's quarterback went about 3 yards out in front of his intended receiver. The clock does stop, 35 seconds left. Whiteland with 2 timeouts remaining. So they can still run the football, which is what they like to do. And they fake it again. They're going to pass and wide open. Wide open again, and he missed him. Artesians are getting some breaks here because these receivers are wide open in the middle of the field, and the Whiteland quarterback just cannot connect with them. Artesian defense has to be more disciplined than that. They kind of, I think, are biting to the handoff that Whiteland's faking, a little play action. They know Whiteland loves to run the ball, and back-to-back pass plays for Whiteland have, fortunately for Martinsville, landed on the turf. So 3rd down coming up for Martinsville. Secondary need to tighten things up, make sure they don't let a receiver wide open in the middle of the field. Once again, it's going to be a pass play, and it's wide open again, and it's dropped. It was thrown high again and off the fingertips, but once again, number 1 for Whiteland, Lutz, was wide open in the middle of the field. If he would have caught that, if it would have been on target, he would have been more than likely in the end zone. Now you've got a 4th down situation. So Artesians have gotten a few breaks, back-to-back-to-back passes that have been either overthrown or just high. And Whiteland now is going to call another timeout. They've got 1 left. 28 seconds, 4th and 15.
Yeah.
And Whiteland quarterback has gone 0 for 3 since they've gotten here near the red zone. Had 3 touchdowns that he could not connect on. Artesian defense, Coach McKinney, you see their defensive coordinator, the black jacket. Headset on, trying to coach up his guys' defense. You know, I've kind of been a little tough on them here on this series just because they've given up some big plays and had some wide open receivers. But the 2 series before this, the defense has done a phenomenal job. They've been disciplined. They have forced punting situations 2 times on Whiteland. They've kept Whiteland's offense off the field. Defense has done a really good job this first half. Just this drive, it's been a little suspect because Whiteland is going to the air, which is something that they typically don't do. I'm sure the Artesians are ready for the ground game because that's what Whiteland's known for, but since they've aired it out, Artesians have struggled a little bit. Fortunately, though, Whiteland has failed to connect on the last 3 passes. Here we go. Coons out of the quarterback, and that's going to be a penalty flag, and this looks to go against the Artesians this time. So this time it's the Artesians who commit the penalty, so moves Whiteland up 5 yards, make it 4th and 10 coming up. All right, so Whiteland actually will try a field goal here. Going to be about a 37-yard field goal. High snap, kick is up, and it is no good. It's left. So the Artesian defense gets a stop. So on 4th and 10, Whiteland rolls out the field goal kicker to try to get 3, and they miss it. So the Artesian defense, even though they gave up some plays and had some close calls, they got the stop that they needed. So the Artesians, if I had to guess, probably just going to take a knee, go to the locker room, happy up 16-7. And remember, they do get the football to start the second half. So Artesians are in a really nice position. Let's see, if I'm Coach Whitson, I just take a knee and I go to the locker room. This is, not a time to get really crazy and try a big play. Last thing you want to do is give up a turnover and a score. So just take the knee, go into the locker room with a 16-7 lead. But Xavier Tinnitus is in the shotgun, so it looks like that they might try to run a play here. Coach Whitson and Xavier Tinnitus is going to scramble. He has some pressure. Now he's just going to run. There's several flags that come, and Xavier Tinnitus is going to run that out of bounds, but there were 2 penalty flags thrown. I think this is going to be a holding call and move Martinsville back, and it will. And now you definitely just take a knee. You move back 10 yards. You got 16 seconds left in the first half. Just take a knee, go into the locker room. Get under center, Xavier. Snap it, take a knee. Whiteland's only got 1 timeout, so it's not like they can stop the clock enough for you to force a punt, and that looks like the Artesians are in that formation where they're just going to take a knee. And they're going to go into the locker room up 16-7 at the end of the first half. Great first half by all 3 phases of the game. Offense, defense, and special teams have all contributed in this first half. And that's where we've got a 16-7 lead for the Artesians. Takes the knee, and that will do it for the first half. Artesians trying to ruin the homecoming for the Whiteland Warriors, and so far in this first half, they've done such things. It's 16-7. We're going to be back with some halftime stats. We've got some special news packages that the MHS Productions class has done for you, so stick with us if you're on MHS Rewind YouTube Live.
To get accepted to a good college.
I want to be a businesswoman.
I really want to be very independent in my life.
I just love watching my friends be happy, and I want to do whatever I can to make them happy.
I wish that my friends will be able to achieve all of their dreams.
I want to help as much as I can.
I want to help people, but like in a bigger way.
Our definition of a relationship is being able to look you in the eye and hear about your concern, hearing about your family, hearing about your job, hearing about your aspirations, getting to know you, and positioning ourselves to help you meet those dreams. Now that sounds pretty old-fashioned, but we're not willing to give that up. We're simply not going to give that up.
For all the banking services you need, there's no place like home.
And welcome back, everyone, WREP 15 Sports. And if you're watching us live on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel, we thank you. We apologize. We had some spotty Wi-Fi connection here, so hopefully we are back in some good graces here for the Wi-Fi. But let's go ahead. While we've got halftime, let's kick it over to the Inside Artesian Football with Coach Whitson and Eric Meyer, and let's watch some of the highlights from last week's homecoming game against Franklin.
Look at some of the highlights from the contest on Friday night against the Franklin Grizzly Cubs, and you're going to see them on the offensive end, trailing 7-0. Yeah,
probably a whole lot of offense.
A whole lot of offense here.
Yeah, Craig Wesner played really well, senior. Getting the ball in the flats right there. We sprint out a lot versus Franklin, had some good stuff. Again, going right back to Craig Wesner. Craig is not bigger than very many people out there, but he fights hard. You know, it's a common theme with most of our team. We're not quite very big, but we play hard. Back to back to back, Craig Wesner. It's the Craig Wesner show. We might need to get him on under the helmet. But we're driving down. They've already scored, and then we run a reverse right here, and we should score on it. But we got two seniors that didn't quite get their jobs done. They were unhappy with it. But we get them down close to the one, and then Xavier sneaks it in right there. You know, we talk about how small we are, but we still drove them off the ball right there. So kids are fighting. Need to get the whole team to fight, not just the offense. Big plays all over the place the other night, from us, from them. You know, Andy Myers right there with a long touchdown catch. Andy and Matt Thomas both had like 13 or 14 catches each and almost 200 yards each. Xavier played well. Xavier gave up too many sacks on his own, not just the O-line, so there's a lot of improvement that he can do too. A little screen action right there to Craig Wesner, and then down to Matt Thomas. You know, it's kind of the usual suspects with the guys that are making big plays down here. Xavier and Andy and Matt and Craig, and then Tyler getting out in the open right here. We got a little, supposed to be a throwback screen action. Xavier makes a great play. Those to Andy Myers. Andy Myers does a great job of coming back to the ball and working in our scramble drills. So Andy makes a great play right there, so does Xavier. A little speed option to Tyler Cox, gets a good block right there by Isaac Whitaker, cuts it back, and you know, I mean, when you get Tyler out in the open field, there's very few people that can catch him. So good play right there. You know, that was actually Coach Dilly called that play. And so he was 1 for 1, so I should let him call a few more plays. There's a little RPO action, a true RPO. You know, we can hand the ball off, we can keep it, or we can throw it. We've started to put those into the offense a little bit more, so that's been good. Good change up. Slant route right there to Andy Myers. Good protection, good solid protection right here. Look at all that time. Look at all the pocket. And we go to Wesley Polston. And Wesley Polston gets in the game. He says, "Throw me a go ball, coach. I'm going to score." And he has the last 2 weeks. So good for him. Excited for him. The other guys are excited. You know, it lets Matt Thomas play some slot receiver, which is exciting for him and us. It just gives us a whole new personnel with guys that can make plays. There's Tyler fighting again right there. That was a little empty toss to Tyler, but a pass play, but it looks like a run play. And then here's a tailback with a one-handed long touchdown catch. He's a special talent. He played really hard Friday night with our depth issues at linebacker and tailback. Tyler had to step up, and he really did. Took care of the ball pretty well and ran really hard. So, you know, the score's not what we wanted it to be. We got guys that are playing well, guys that are playing hard. We're scoring points just like this right here on a competitive play. But we need more of it, and we need our defense to get some stops. They know that. We know that. There's things to fix, and hopefully this week throughout practice we've got them fixed.
You mentioned it. We see it on there, the offense as well. Xavier tonight is throwing for nearly 500 yards in the game, 14 catches for Andy Myers. I know the 13 for Matt Thomas. Xavier, I know you guys look at the stats a little bit. We immediate types look at them a lot more than what you do. Xavier now second in the state in passing, and Andy Myers, I believe, second in the state as well in receiving. Yeah. We knew when you came here that was going to be your calling card, and you're kind of starting to see it a little bit this year offensively, those big video game-esque type numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. And in our 3 years here, we've had 3 completely different quarterbacks and different styles of quarterbacks. So our offense is always going to change and adapt to who we have on the field. But yeah, we've got those 2 outside weapons this year, and Xavier's playing well. We're smaller up front, so it causes us to spread people out and throw it. But you know, it fits the quarterback, it fits the wide receiver. So you know, we're had some good stats, scored some points, but we don't score in the fourth quarter, and we don't get any stops, and you're not going to beat anybody doing that.
Yeah.
And that was Coach Whitson talking with Eric Meyer on Inside Artesian Football. Saw some of the highlights from last week's homecoming game loss against Franklin. You saw those highlights. A lot of offense, not much defense, though. If you had highlights of the first half here, you would get some defensive highlights. Defense has played a lot better in this ball game in the first half. They've only given up 7 points to Whiteland. And kicking game's done well. Offense has done really well. So, like I said, all three phases of the game doing really, really well for the Artesians here, and that's why they've got a 16-7 lead at halftime. Well, Whiteland, they're going through their homecoming festivities. We've actually got a special news package put together by the MHS broadcasting class. It's on former Martinsville Artesian golfer Baylor Payne, who golfed for the men's golf team down in Florida for Stetson University. Now he's actually pursuing his dream of being a professional golfer. So that's kind of what this package is about. So we'll go ahead and show you that package done here on Baylor Payne.
Baylor Payne started golfing at a young age, riding around the golf cart with his dad, Bobby.
You know, he always had kind of a golf club in his hand, and it was kind of a natural for him with me playing golf and my friends, and he'd kind of just ride along and hit a few putts and chips and stuff like that. So it was kind of a natural, and so it was fun, you know, because he did kind of all the sports growing up all the way till his freshman year. So it was kind of fun.
Baylor continued to play golf throughout high school. Throughout those 4 years, he made it to the state championship 3 times, 2 with his team and once as an individual. But Baylor says his best high school experience was his senior year run with his overlooked, unranked team that ended up winning their conference tournament.
So we went to the sectional, came in second in the sectional, went to the regional, came in second in the regional, and at state we ended up coming in 14th overall, which was just mind-boggling from where we had come from to where we were then. It was that run was probably the best experience that I had in high school golf.
Also during his senior year, Baylor was part of the school's radio and TV production class, otherwise known as Rewind or RTV2, in which he learned how to produce short films and newscasts.
Yeah, luckily I was grateful for Mr. Meyer to let me into the program, even though I didn't do it my junior or sophomore year. I had a blast in that class, and this is actually kind of a weird experience since I'm usually the one asking the questions. I'm never really in front of the camera a whole lot, so it's a nice change of pace, but Rewind was great. I really enjoyed it my senior year of high school.
After high school, Baylor Payne decided to take his talents to Stetson, a D1 school in Florida.
Making that jump from high school to college golf was crazy. I knew I was a good player going into college, but I also knew that it was going to take a lot of hard work since the courses in college are longer, tougher, greens are faster. I was expecting the transition to go a little bit more smoothly, but I'm glad it was rough at the beginning because that kind of set up my work ethic from my freshman year of college until now.
Baylor talks fondly of his 4 years of college and the experiences he was able to have, traveling all over the country and playing some amazing golf courses. However, his favorite moment was when he won individually in Texas.
And that was the first time I had ever played golf in Texas, so I guess you can say I'm undefeated in that state, so I don't know if I want to go back.
Baylor's work ethic and mentality can also be traced back to his college golf coach.
Coach Watson at Stetson was absolutely the biggest help that I've ever had in golf. He taught me a lot of what it would take, and he's taught me a lot of the skills that I have today. So I know that with the mentality that he instilled in me and the skills that he gave to me, I know that I have a very decent chance at getting there. And if I do, then great. And if I don't, well, I gave it one heck of a shot.
He usually practices every single day of the week. However, Baylor still finds time to help out and talk with some of the current high school players.
I met Baylor down at the range. I was hitting a few practice shots, and he came up and introduced a new swing to me, and it kind of took off from there. Baylor, he's helped me out tremendously, on and off the course, life in general, and then also when it comes down to golf. So he's helped me out quite a bit.
Now, Baylor's fully focused on becoming a professional golfer.
I originally wanted to play college golf to go and get an education, and I'm very happy that I did. I was able to get a finance major from Stetson University, and that is just an achievement in itself. I didn't think when I went to college that I would be trying to play professional golf, but after college I knew that that was the path I wanted to take. Yes, finance does offer great paths to success in life, but for right now I'm just focused on professional golf.
His first of many qualifiers for the Korn Ferry Tour, which is a single level below the PGA Tour, starts October 1st.
I'll be traveling to Lakeland, Florida to try and qualify. It's a 4-day process, so I play 4 days of golf and I have to finish in the top percentile, and then I move on to another qualifying round.
If he finishes in the top 25 there, he is then considered a tour professional golfer. If not, Baylor plans on continuing to practice and attempting to get on the PGA Tour Canada, otherwise known as the Mackenzie Tour.
For MHS Rewind with Zane Spangler, I'm Baylor Payne.
And that was a great package done by Zane Spangler of the TV Productions class here at Martinsville. And as you saw in that package, Baylor Payne is a former MHS Rewind TV production student, so had a little fun with it there at the end. But like I said, Baylor Payne, excellent golfer here at Martinsville, went on to play down in Florida at Stetson University, had a lot of success down there, and now he is trying to live his dream and play professional golf. So for myself, and I'm sure the rest of MHS Rewind and just the whole community of Martinsville, we wish Baylor Payne all the best in his quest to become a professional golfer and get on the PGA Tour, I'm sure, is what is his final goal. So once again, great job, great package by Zane Spangler. So we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to come back with some halftime stats after this.
Our definition of a relationship is being able to look you in the eye and hear about your concern, hearing about your family, hearing about your job, hearing about your aspirations, getting to know you, and positioning ourselves to help you meet those dreams. Now that sounds pretty old-fashioned, but we're not willing to give that up. We're simply not going to give that up.
For all the banking services you need, there's no place like home.
Work can be overwhelming.
School can be overwhelming.
I don't feel like I do enough at home.
I don't feel like myself at home.
I don't know if I'm making the right choices for my future.
I have no idea what to do with my future.
I have anxiety.
I get so depressed.
I just wish someone could understand.
We may be your parents,
But we've been in your shoes.
and we fought the same battles. No matter what you're facing,
We're here for you.
And you're not in this alone.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Welcome back, everyone, to WREP 15 Sports at Whiteland High School during their homecoming. But right now, Martinsville kind of ruining the homecoming for the Whiteland Warriors, especially in the first half. They lead at 16-7. Great first half by the Artesians. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats and see how the Artesians got here with this 16-7 lead. As we saw the opening there, you got 2 and 3 squads playing each other. There's the halftime stats coming up. Like I said, score 16-7 in favor of the Artesians. And this is a stat that's a little deceiving, just because you would think Martinsville, the way they love to throw the football, the way they love to air it out, that their passing yards would be much, much higher than Whiteland Warriors. And they've got 93 pass yards for the Artesians. There on the screen, it says 75 for pass yards. That's actually flipped. It's 59 pass yards for the Warriors. That was on one pass that was completed by the quarterback of Whiteland. That was a long pass play that set up the end of the first half. And they had plenty of opportunities to connect for a touchdown and get Whiteland back little closer deficit there. There you go. That's now corrected. But yeah, 59 pass yards. It was all on one play, just one completion by the Whiteland quarterback. And then he had 3 incompletions here that would have been easy touchdowns, but just overthrew the intended receiver. Rushing yards, though, Artesian defense doing such a nice job. Whiteland, they are known for that fly offense, that they love the ground game. That's kind of their bread and butter. And Artesians have been so disciplined and not going after any of the motion or the fake. The Artesian defenders are sticking to their guy and going after their man, and that's why Whiteland only has 75 yards. And really, a lot of those yards were in that first drive. You had 2 really big runs by Taylor of Whiteland. One of those a 33-yard touchdown run. So the Artesians, the 75 yards, doing a really nice job against the run. Artesians, 122 yards. Tyler Cox doing a really, really nice job. Had the one long 55-yard run in the early in the first half, and then has just driven out yards, just tough runs. Hasn't really exploded that big play just yet. But the one good thing for Tyler is he has not gone backwards. He's not, had been tackled for loss after loss or no gain. He's always kept the drive moving forward. So that's really been nice to see. So the Artesians, a little bit of a shock. They're out rushing Whiteland 122-75. First down, Artesians, they're superiorly outdoing the Whiteland Warriors in first downs, 13-5. A lot of that is just because Whiteland offense has not been on the field very much. The defense has just done such an excellent job of forcing Whiteland into 3 and outs. And Martinsville, they're kind of a team that, last week they had the big play, and the big offensive firepower. This time, though, they're kind of grinding out drives and getting first down. And some of those first downs have been a little help from Whiteland, just some penalties and things from Whiteland. But Artesians had the edge there on first downs, 13-4. And turnovers, 1 turnover apiece for the Artesians and the Warriors. Artesians had the turnover, it was the interception in the end zone. However, Whiteland made a huge mistake. They had it, took the step out of the end zone, then went back into the end zone. That made it a safety, so the Artesians got a huge break. Instead of being down 7-0 and turning over, they got the safety, made it 7-2. Whiteland had to kick it back to the Artesians, and then Martinsville was able to march down the field and score another touchdown. For Whiteland, their turnover came on an onside kick. Artesians got the onside kick. They've attempted 3 onside kicks so far in this game, and they were unsuccessful the first 2 times, and the second time they were able to get the onside kick. It went off the body of a Whiteland player and then kind of went down the sidelines, and Andy Myers did a great job to hustle down the sideline and cover that up. Unfortunately, Artesians could not turn that into points. They had great starting field position because there was a penalty after that play that put the Artesians at Whiteland's 20-yard line, but unfortunately the Artesians could not punch it in, but ran some time off the clock and kept Whiteland from getting points on the board before the half. So that's your halftime stats. A little bit of surprising. Those are not the stats I would have guessed to see here in the first half, but so far they work because the Artesians have a 16-7 lead. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with the second half right after this.
Sportsmanship doesn't happen just on the court or on the field or on the mat. It doesn't happen only in the pool or on the green or the track. It also happens in the stands, on the sidelines, on the web, and at home. That's because sportsmanship is everyone's responsibility. We remind you to practice good sportsmanship at all high school sporting events. Treat athletes and officials with respect during competition and especially in social media. And support your team's coaching staff. Remember, sportsmanship has a face. Yours. A message from your high school and the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
And welcome back, everyone, to WREP 15 Sports, and thanks if you're watching live on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Our away games, we have a lot of viewers on that channel just because some people just don't like to travel on the road, or they can't travel. They have other schedule conflicts, but we do really appreciate you guys if you're watching us. This is a broadcast that's put together almost entirely by MHS students. They're the ones running the camera for tonight's broadcast and doing a great job of it. So we do really appreciate you watching and your support. We've heard a lot of really positive comments just in the community of how much the community likes to have this feature and be able to watch and support this football team live, especially when they maybe can't be there in person. So we really do appreciate you guys watching live. We got about 3 more minutes before the start of the third quarter. Artesians will get the ball to start the second half. So Artesians with a big opportunity to march down the field and put 6-7 more points on the board and really extend this lead. It's been all Martinsville in the first half, it seems. Like I said, minus that first opening drive that Whiteland had, but it's still only a 16-7 game with a whole another half left to play. So the more the Artesians can kind of extend their lead and force Whiteland to do things they're not comfortable with, the better. Whiteland, as you saw, they completed one pass play. It was a big one, but just unable to really complete some wide open pass plays. This score could be really different if the Whiteland quarterback could maybe just connect with his receiver. The receivers were open, unfortunately. It's kind of something hopefully Coach McKinney went over his defense with, because a lot of open receivers toward the end of that first half that the quarterback just could not connect with, a lot of overthrows and things of that nature. So Artesian's fortunate, but they've got the 16-7 lead, and it would be just such a good thing for Martinsville if they could score this opening drive and really force Whiteland to throw the football, because you see the quarterback for Whiteland, that's not what he's comfortable doing. He's only thrown the football coming into tonight's game 18 total times, and like I said, Xavier Tinnitus has probably thrown it at least 18 times every game. So something Whiteland doesn't do. They love that fly offense and love running the football. So passing the football is not something they like to do, feel comfortable doing. So if you can extend that lead, force them to do that, that's even better. And it's good to see a 16-7 lead when the Artesian's bread and butter, the passing game, just hasn't quite been there. And not because it's been unsuccessful, just Artesians really haven't needed it. Tyler Cox has kept the chains moving, and instead of getting that big passing play that I'm sure most of you, if you followed Martinsville football all season, that's something that Martinsville and Xavier Tinnitus can do. Xavier Tinnitus has the second most passing yards in the entire state of Indiana with over 1,500 yards total. Andy Myers, he's second in receiving yards, and like I mentioned also, if he can maybe get a touchdown or two here, he's on pace to possibly get close to that single-season touchdown reception record, which is at 16. Andy Myers has 8 touchdown receptions, hasn't found the end zone yet tonight. Matt Thomas, the receiver that scored a touchdown, that was a great catch by Matt Thomas, because he had to be a little physical, big frame, had to stretch out his arms to get the football across the goal line. That's how Artesian scored their second. So if Andy Myers can go and get another touchdown, maybe even 2, kind of inch closer to possibly that single season record for the most touchdown receptions in a single season. So Artesian getting ready to receive this kickoff. We got about 10 seconds left. Artesians look ready. I'm sure Coach Whitson has his players ready for this second half. It's going to be a battle. This is still a tight game, 16-7. So Artesians with a chance to return the football. Now you gotta wonder if after Whiteland has seen all the 3 onside kicks for Martinsville, if that doesn't give them some ideas, if they might try to run something like that of their own. So Artesians obviously need to be ready for everything. When it comes to guessing what Whiteland might do, I've been wrong on just about every time. So might not want to listen to me. I was talking toward the end of that first half that Whiteland, back deep in their own territory, struggle to pass the ball. The next play is a big pass play. So they do kick it deep, and it's going to go into the end zone. So the Artesians will get it at the 20-yard line. That's not really going to bother Martinsville any. They've had fairly poor starting field position most of the night, other than when they got the onside kick and then the 15-yard penalty tacked onto that. And unfortunately, that's the drive that they did not score the touchdown. So they've put together some really nice long scoring drives here. So starting at the 20-yard line, not a big thing for the Artesians. So Xavier Tinnitus trots his team out on the field. Now Martinsville, biggest thing here, you can't turn it over. Coach Whitson talks, every day, I'm sure, has all season about winning the turnover battle. Right now it's tied 1-1. So Artesians just need to make sure they take care of the football, keep doing what they're doing. And a quick pass to Andy Myers, and he is tackled out of bounds. Not a whole lot of running room there on the sideline for Andy. So Andy Myers there got the reception, maybe 2 or 3 yards on that play. With that quick pass and when the screen pass on the outside that Martinsville's tried to run, just hasn't really had the success it's had in past games. So 2nd and 8, 2 yards on that reception. Looks to pass it to Tyler Cox, like kind of a double pump, and a flag comes from way outside. We will see what this is going to be about. I think we might have a block in the back. I thought I saw a Martinsville player push a Whiteland defender in the back. We'll see what the official call is, but I think this might go against Martinsville. Thought I saw one of the outside receivers trying to spring Tyler Cox, but might have got a block in the back. We will see. And it is going to be a block in the back against Martinsville. So that's what I was afraid of. I thought I saw that when the flag came from way back there. I figured that's what it was. So penalty, not the way you really want to start this drive. Makes it 2nd and long after that penalty. Xavier back to pass. He's got pressure, and he will go down. And he was not tackled in the end zone, but that is the 3rd sack, and we've got trouble. Xavier Tinnitus is down, and now he pops up, but he walks up off gingerly, and now the official is forcing a trainer to come out and assess the starting quarterback of the Artesians, and this is the last thing you want to see if you're a Martinsville fan. You've already lost your 2 best defensive players. They are out for tonight's game. And now your starting quarterback, after being absolutely leveled on that sack, is down on the turf. It looks like he was going to pop up, but the official forced the trainer to come out. But now Xavier's going to have to leave the field on 3rd and long with your back toward the end zone. So we'll see. That's not good that Xavier Tinnitus is favoring his right shoulder. I don't know what the injury is. I don't want to speculate anything, but that is the looks like that's what he is favoring. So now you've got a backup quarterback, number 12, Ty Martin, coming in. Now Ty Martin has seen action. It's not like he hasn't seen any action before. So he's out, but he's in a tough spot, 3rd and forever in the end zone. And we'll see what Coach Whitson does here. I think you may just want to hand it off and hope that Tyler Cox can get it out of the end zone. And they will. Tyler Cox just at least gets it out of the end zone. So no safety, but the ball will be marked at about the inside the 5-yard line. So Matt Thomas more than likely will come out to punt this away. Now he punted from about this same position in the first half and was able to get a nice punt and get it out to about the 45-yard line. But Matt Thomas, his heels back of the end zone there. And not the way that you offense wants to start that series. Got the football to start the first half and went backwards. Thomas. It's a high punt and with a spiral. See, and it takes a nice Artesian bounce. Good job, Matt Thomas. Gets it out to about midfield, so really flipped field position there as Whiteland could have really put Martinsville in a tough situation, but Matt Thomas, nice punt there. And Matt, he's kind of just started the punting duties the last couple of weeks. Usually it was Xavier Tinnitus back there, but Matt Thomas started punting the last couple games here and done a nice job.
He's coming. See, go. There, he's walking into your shot, right? Back to your left, Brandon. There, tilt down. There he is, right there.
Shot there, Matt Thomas, after that nice punt. Now it's our time for the Artesian defense. It's Taylor up the middle and does get tackled. Larry Bland was in there initially on that tackle, made that first initial hit, but a big first down run, and Larry Bland's coming off a little slow. Artesians cannot have any more injuries, but Xavier Tinnitus went out with an injury. And now Larry Bland, number 21, out with an injury. So the athletic training staff having to stay busy. 2nd and 2 for Whiteland. Up the middle again, and now finds a hole and brought down by the Artesians. Number 13, Adam Field, with that tackle, but it's another first down for Whiteland. As Whiteland with 2 big runs. And unfortunately, this kind of looks like what the first drive for Whiteland looked like, just big runs up the middle with big holes. Hands it off once again up the middle. And nice job, nice tackle. I think that's Talent who came in and made that tackle, number 16. Good open field tackle there. Still a 7-yard run. I thought Talent came up and got him before he got 7 yards, but possibly saved an even bigger gain there on that shoestring tackle. So 2nd down coming up for Whiteland. Whiteland moving the ball nicely to start this second half drive up the middle. And another first down for Whiteland. This is what the Warriors like to do. A lot of motion, and they'll hand it off up the middle. Then occasionally they'll give it to that man in motion and try to go around the outside. But right now they've just kind of gashed Artesians up the middle in this drive to open up the second half for Whiteland. Artesians went 3 and out. Now Whiteland with some momentum. Once again, Taylor up the middle. Nice tackle. Jacob Burkett was kind of waiting there for Taylor. Taylor was able to slip through him, but Burkett slowed him down. On a 5-yard pickup for Taylor. Jacob Burkett initially there with the stop. Up, this time bouncing off to the left side, still on his feet at the corner, and did not get in the end zone, but got a first down. It's going to be 1st and goal inside the 5. And there is Ty Martin, the backup quarterback, kind of warming up just in case Xavier Tenitis could not go. Xavier Tenitis is standing. You can't see it in the shot, but Xavier Tenitis is standing on the outside of that shot. Andy Myers, Craig Wessner talking to Ty Martin. So we will see what happens next time Artesians go out on offense. But right now, Artesian defense trying to get a stop. And touchdown, Whiteland. Number 13 for the Warriors got in there. And just like that, Whiteland offense is back in business. Dalton Murray was in there on the score, number 13, with the touchdown for the Warriors. And that, unfortunately, looked a lot like that opening drive that Whiteland had to start the game.
Yeah, right there. Emily, try to get 12 and 8 in the shot. Okay, I'm going to do that right there. Yeah, that's fine.
So Artesians had a chance to really take some advantage. They had a 16-7 lead at half. They were going to get the ball to start the second half. Artesian offense goes 3 and out. Xavier Tenitis, your quarterback, gets hurt after being sacked. And then the defense gives up the scoring drive. Whiteland just kind of pounds it in there. Successful run, successful run, successful run. Nothing really got stopped for no gain or for a loss. It was kind of big chunks where they were getting 7 yards, 8 yards, 10 yards, those type of things, and eventually found their way in the end zone. So now we'll have to see who the starting quarterback is going to be for the Artesians. There's Ty Martin, number 12. He is the backup quarterback. He's seen some time, but it's kind of been in cleanup time when the game is out of reach. He's not really played any significant minutes where the game has been tight. It's usually been a game that Artesians have been up by a lot or down by a lot and just kind of getting them in there for some reps there in the fourth quarter. But now Ty Martin, number 12, he is a 6'4", 215-pound junior, excuse me. So a big kid, bigger than Xavier Tenitis body-wise. So the junior will we'll see. Xavier Tinnitus, helmet off. He's got the shoulder. His shoulder pads were off for a little bit. They were kind of working on, I believe it was his shoulder. His right shoulder they were looking at. And this is just something, if you're an Artesian fan, you just don't want to see, because Artesians have been bit by the injury bug enough this season. You thought we would get a bit of a break, but it's going to be the junior, number 12, Ty Martin, trotting out there to lead this Martinsville football team in this second half. So
he's already run down. So yeah, kind of stay right there. Raina, slowly pan to your right.
And what's not good is Xavier Tinnitus is about to take off his shoulder pads. So Xavier Tinnitus shoulder pads are off. And a trainer's working on that right shoulder. That is Xavier Tinnitus with the shoulder pads off. So that's not the best sign if you're an Artesian fan. Hopefully maybe he can come back in this game. But right now it's Ty Martin. Little speed option to Tyler Cox. Tyler Cox dives forward for a small gain. Not much there. So Tyler Cox has had a good game to start this first half. And now you're going to ask for a little bit more. You've got a backup quarterback in there. You're going to rely on your running game to maybe carry you a little bit. It's a gutsy call, though. Backup quarterback, the first play you call for him is a speed option play. Fakes the handoff. Little quick pass to Matt Thomas. Matt Thomas tries to bounce it off the outside. Ooh, gets hit hard. Got his tackle kind of high and then got hit a second time. So, once again, not much of a game. Third down. And Artesians really need to try to convert here, because your defense was just gashed last time they were out there. They might need a bit of a breather. But if you go 3 and out here, you're going to trot your defense right back out there and not give them much of a break. So Ty Martin, big 3rd and 7 coming up for the junior quarterback. Martin looks left. He's going to go deep. He's got a man on the sideline. It is incomplete off his hands.
Okay, I'm going to go to you, Ash. Just going to follow him back. Oh, he's hurt too.
So that was Wesley Polston on the far sideline. And Polston, it was a good ball. Polston was really covered up pretty tightly and just could not hang on to it. Had kind of juggled it, had a couple times to maybe come down with it, but Wesley Polston, he comes off a little gingerly, and unfortunately the Artesians are going to go 3 and out and have to punt it away and trot your defense back here. Now Artesians still have the lead, but not the second half you want to start. Matt Thomas, plenty of time. He kicks it. This is a high boot. Man, this is a bomb. And it will take a Martinsville roll, and it will roll past the 30 to about the 28-yard line. So great job by Matt Thomas on that punt. So that helps with some field position, but now it's time for your defense to step up. Maybe they will do exactly what they did in the first half. Gave up a huge touchdown drive, just did not look good in that first drive of the game. And then after that, they really tightened things up and forced Whiteland into a couple of 3 and outs. So Whiteland will start their own 27-yard line, 28-yard line. So here we go. Artesian defense. We'll try to get some stops here. And up the middle. I was kind of fooled. I thought number 13 there on the edge had it, but that's just kind of what this offense can do. For about a 5-yard gain there on that first down. And that's what Artesian defense didn't really give up. They didn't really give up those big chunk plays.
Is your game on, Ash?
So 2nd and 6 now. Hands it off up the middle again, and a big hole, and now still on his feet and finally brought down near midfield. And another first down for Whiteland. So ball resting at the 48-yard line for Whiteland. 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and the second half has not been nice for the Artesians. They could use a turnover right here up the middle. Nice job. The Artesian defense finally comes up big. Gets the stop they need on first down. Potteroff in there on that tackle, number 1. He's kind of being forced to play linebacker. Normally, Potteroff has been a defensive back, but because of the injuries to the Artesian defense, he's forced to play linebacker. He came up from his linebacker spot and stopped that run right on its track. So a no gain there, and that's the way the Artesian defense looked through most of the first half. So we'll see if this can give that defense a little bit of a spark. Force Whiteland. A little pitch play here. And see if Artesian can string it out, and they do for the most part. The minimal gain there, maybe 3 or 4 yards. So Artesians do a nice job to limit the damage. So about 5-yard pickup there. Hess in there on that tackle, number 34, who had a really nice first half. Came up with some big hits. You got a third down here, and this is a situation where Whiteland, they actually surprised me a little bit and punted on a couple of these. So here we go. See if the Artesians can force a fourth down in motion there. They hand it off to the man in motion, number 13. See if they can string this out. Cuts back inside and does get the first down. Finally brought down by the Artesians. Jackson Kleesner, number 55 on that far side, but not before another Warrior first down as Kleesner brought him down there on that far sideline. Just was able to get the edge, cut back in a little bit, and get a big gain for the first down. So a chance to get off the field. Artesian defense just couldn't quite do it.
When they're like close to you, you're probably okay with being in. When they get far away,
Hands it off inside. Taylor still on his feet and will finally be tackled. So another big first down run for about 5 yards, makes it 2nd and 5. That's kind of why you had some good feeling before the last first down. Artesian were able to get a stop on first down, but in this half they've only been able to do that once. Whiteland's been able to get big gains on first down several times. Now they're going to hand it off, cuts back inside, and gets it another first down. So Whiteland just keeps churning up yards and yards and yards. So a minute and a half left to go in this third quarter. It's been all Whiteland here in the third. They're threatening to score again. Artesian still, though, with that 2-point lead, 16-14. Hands it off up the middle and gets a stiff arm, breaks another tackle. There's a flag that comes, so that will come back. The touchdown's not going to count. His penalty is coming back. It's a hold against Whiteland, so Whiteland sidelines excited for just a minute, and then we'll have to come back. So Whiteland on the hold will take away a touchdown and move things back a little bit. So still this, even though we're the last Friday of September, this does not feel, it's still pretty warm for Friday night football in Indiana here. So still hot and sticky out there on the field, up here in the booth as well. And it's going to be a pass play. Little double pump, throws it up in the air, and it is nicely defended. Adam Field, I believe, on there on the cover, and it is number 13, Adam Field. Receiver was looking for a flag, but there is no way. That was just good coverage by Adam Field. And it was also thrown over the head, so going to be tough to catch.
There he is. Nope, that wasn't him. That was my bad. Back to one. He's back in the back. Go back to your left, right?
So 2nd and 13 coming up for the Warriors. About a minute left to go in this third quarter. Quick third quarter. But you've seen a lot of run plays, so clock continues to churn. Hands it off up the middle. Breaks a tackle. Still on his feet and brought down near the first down marker. And that's just what Whiteland's done. They have just gone up the middle. That's how they've gashed this defense in this third quarter. And it is a first down, so got 13 yards on that, enough for the first down. You got a fresh set of downs from the 11-yard line with about 42 seconds left. So Whiteland will at least run one more play here in this third quarter. Once again up the middle. That time, though, gets the stop from the defensive line position. Could not see who that was who came in that stop. So that was Jason Cox, 29, coming in from his linebacker spot. He's one that's had to fill in for all these injuries. So that was a nice stop on first down, but that's going to end the third quarter. So Artesian's kind of on their heels from the start to finish to this third quarter. Can the fourth quarter be any different? Can they get the stop they need? We'll find out after this.
To get accepted to a good college.
I want to be a businesswoman.
I really want to be very independent in my life.
I just love watching my friends be happy, and I want to do whatever I can to make them happy.
I wish that my friends will be able to achieve all of their dreams.
I want to help as much as I can.
I want to help people, but like in a bigger way.
Our definition of a relationship is being able to look you in the eye and hear about your concern, hearing about your family, hearing about your job, hearing about your aspirations, getting to know you, and positioning ourselves to help you meet those dreams. Now that sounds pretty old-fashioned, but we're not willing to give that up. We're simply not going to give that up.
For all the banking services you need, there's no place like home.
And welcome back, everyone. WRAP 15 Sports, and thanks if you're watching live on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Broadcasting this game live from James Slater Field, Whiteland High School. It's a mid-state conference matchup between a pair of 2 and 3 teams, Martinsville and Whiteland. So 2nd and 10 after the nice stop on first down. Hands it off up the middle, gets it around the left-hand side. He is not going to make it to the end zone, but gets it to the 4-yard line. So that'll bring up 2nd and about 3, or 3rd and 3, excuse me. So there is enough where Whiteland can get the first down. They don't have, it's not goal, so they don't have to score a touchdown here. So they can get a first down.
What do you think on yours? Does it look okay? Okay. I know it's
So 3rd and 3. Let's see if the Artesians get a stop here. Obviously, a field goal would give Whiteland the lead if they get stopped here. They do have a kicker that could probably hit this field goal, but right now Artesians just need to focus on getting the stop. And we'll see. There was a penalty flag thrown. A Martinsville player did jump, but was Whiteland was there a Whiteland player that jumped before they did? And according not. Nope, Martinsville jumped. So offside, so that's going to set up a 1st and goal for the Whiteland Warriors. And unfortunately now Martinsville are the ones shooting themselves in the foot. Whiteland had a couple of those penalties in the first half, but this time it's the Artesians. Actually, it's not first down, excuse me. It's 3rd and 1 from the 2, and it's a little quarterback sneak, and that should do it, and it does. Touchdown, Warriors score. 20-16 is now your score as Whiteland gets it in on the touchdown. We'll see if they go for 2 here, make it a 22-16 game. Obviously an extra point Still keeps it a 5-point game, so we'll see if they try to go for 2 here and make it a 6-point contest. See if the Artesians can get a stop on this 2-point conversion. In motion. They hand it off up the middle, and easy 2 points. And now this Whiteland fly offense is running to perfection in this second half, as Artesians had it figured out in the first half, but now for some reason so Whiteland, not sure if they just made some adjustments or what, but that third quarter looked awfully good, and then carried over to the start of this fourth quarter that scored a touchdown and then the easy 2-point conversion. So 22-16. Let's see if the Martinsville defense can adjust some things. They looked so dynamite in that first half, but now struggling a little bit here in the second. And another storyline, if you're just now joining us, early in the second half, Xavier Tinnitus, starting quarterback, hurt his what appears to be a right shoulder injury, and he is on the sideline, shoulder pads off with an ice pack on that right shoulder. So now the starting quarterback for Martinsville will be the 6'4 junior, Ty Martin. So you already are hurt so badly, and that's a squib kick, and we'll see if it's scooped up, and it is. Picked up there, Tyler Cox with it. Now Tyler Cox up the middle, but there's a flag. So that nice return may come back as that flag was thrown. The official's actually looking toward the Martinsville sideline. It is a holding against the Artesian, so that will come back. And that flag was thrown around the 33-yard line, so it'll be 10 yards from the spot. Now I think there might be a Martinsville player down near the sideline. Can't quite make out who it is. And I hope this is not Tyler Cox. I think it is. It's number 28, Tyler Cox. So Tyler Cox now down, and this would just This is just gone from bad to worse if you're Martinsville. You've already lost your 2 starting defensive players, leading tacklers. You lost your number 1 quarterback, starting quarterback in this first half, and now your starting running back, Tyler Cox, is injured right now. Obviously not sure the severity of the injury or anything like that, but he is on the field. So Tyler Cox right now. And Tyler Cox is hurt. I mean, he is not, he is moving awfully gingerly off the field, and this is just becoming a thing where who do you put in now? You had Will Nix and Weston Pemberton as your running backs, and now they can't play. So now Tyler Cox is on the sideline with a shoulder injury. So now you've got a backup quarterback, junior QB Ty Martin, and Ethan Potteroff now having to play the running back position.
That's good.
Ty Martin, quick shot, and that's nearly picked off. That was thrown to Andy Myers. If that was on target, Andy Myers had some space, but thrown behind Andy Myers and actually into the chest of a Whiteland defender, and just could not hang on to it, fortunately for Martinsville. So that could have been a interception for the Warriors. Fortunately, it wasn't. And Artesian offense will live to fight another day. Second down coming up. Still only a 6-point deficit, but with all the injuries that have mounted up, it's hard not to talk about it. And Craig Wesner there on a quick fly play of his own, and that time not much there. So Craig Wesner maybe got a couple yards on that short pass. So Ty Martin now is going to be forced to throw it on 3rd and long. Ball at their own 22-yard line. Fakes the handoff, gets a little screen, and that's going to go nowhere. That has just gone nowhere all night. They've tried to get Andy Myers to open up on that screenplay and just has not gone anywhere tonight. They've had a lot of success with it in other games for sure, but just tonight, Whiteland has that sniffed out. So now Artesians will have to punt this one away again. So Matt Thomas, he's actually been the lone bright spot in this second half, and that's unfortunate because it's not been because of his receiving skills, but just his punting skills. Artesians, I don't believe, have a first down yet in this second half. Thomas. Another high kick. He is fair catch, and it is taken at about the 37-yard line. So Whiteland offense will come back, and Artesian defense needs to tighten things up. They need to get a stop, a 3-and-out, or force a turnover, something that they have not done in 3 games. And unfortunately for the Artesians, you've just had injuries mounted up, and I know coaches will not use that as an excuse. I get that. It's next man up mentality. But just with the injuries that Martinsville has had and the players that are the ones being injured, the key players, it's hard not to discuss. It's tough as a fan, as a team, really just hurts the morale. But it is next man up. Let's see if they can do it. Artesians have a chance to string it out. Nice job. And Billy Bias with a tackle finished it off. Nice job by Billy Bias. Good job. I could not sell. I think it was maybe Adam Field. There's another Artesian player that kind of strung that play out, forced the Whiteland running back to run toward the sideline more than he wanted to and allowed time for Billy Bias to come on and finish the play. And that's the way that defense looked through most of the first half, of not giving up big plays, especially there on first down. So 2nd and 13, so that's a good stop. Let's see if that's the spark maybe that this defense needs to get things going. You would love to force a turnover here. You would love to get some sort of turnover, a little pitch play. Now it's coming up. Nice job coming in. See who that tackle was. And I think that was Hess, number 34 again, who made a nice play. And he's had a few of those plays. So now you've got 3rd and 12. Maybe got a yard on that. So you got 3rd and long, and you've got a chance to force Whiteland to punt it here. Now, granted, your offense now, they've been hit by the injury bug, so they've got to do some things. But right now your defense has a chance to shine. Can they get the stop they need? It's going to be a pass play, and it is caught and a first down, and did not get the stop. And that's kind of what Whiteland does. You think run because that's all they do. Then all of a sudden they connect on the pass play, and that time the quarterback for Whiteland, Brant Coons, connects. He's been off most of the night, but he's been able to hit at least a couple passes, and that one a backbreaker for Martinsville. After 2 great stops, you give up the long first down, and that just kind of crushes the morale. So now you've got to try to find a way to get back in this game. Hand it off, and breaks one tackle. Taylor still on his feet. And now you've got another player for Martinsville who's hurt. And I think this is number 1, Ethan Potteroff. And you just look at the coaching staff, and they're just mesmerized by how this is happening. I mean, that's Ethan Potteroff, number 1. Now, because of all the injuries, he's actually one of your better defensive players, and he was the one that was having to fill in the running back position because of all the injuries. Now, hopefully, you hope it's just a cramp. The way that the athletic trainer is treating that, hopefully it's just a cramp and nothing more than that, because at this point, you almost can't believe the way the injury bug has bitten the Artesians. So the stoppage of play here, Ethan Potteroff, the injured player from Martinsville, looks to be just a cramp. He has some water. The athletic trainer's kind of lifting that leg, bending those those toes, but it looks like it's a tough cramp because Ethan Potteroff can barely put any weight on that right leg of his. So it looks like you're going to be without Ethan Potteroff for at least a little bit until that injury works itself out. But now, right now, the defense, Ethan Potteroff trying to get this crowd going a little bit because it's Artesian crowd has kind of been put to a lull this second half. So Ethan Potteroff may be trying to get this crowd jazzed up, and it's going to be close to a first down. It's going to bring up third down, I believe. Yep, third and short. So another third down for the Artesian defense. And the bad thing about Whiteland is they've got the lead, so now they're going to do what they do, which just naturally milks the clock. So this second half has flown by. And there's a stoppage of play for some reason. The official asked for the play clock to stop. I don't believe there's a timeout called, but the official stopped the game clock, and now we're rolling. And I think the clock just needed to be adjusted. It has been. So here we go. Third and one. See if Artesians can get a stop. And helmets come off of a Martinsville player, but the Whiteland running back has enough for the first down. That was Taylor, number 23, met by a couple Artesian defenders, but not before Whiteland can get a first down. So the Artesian player will have to come off because his helmet popped off. Number 72, Jaden Kleesner, I should say. Get his helmet strapped up. So still 22-16. I mean, it's still a one-score game. If the Artesians can just force a turnover, get a stop here, keep Whiteland out of the end zone, up the middle, and it is once again another big first down run by Whiteland. That's pretty much been the story in this second half. Artesian defense has put themselves in good position when they get a stop on first down, but Whiteland has, and for the most part in this second half, been able to run over Martinsville, especially on first down. Hands it off up the middle again, and another first down. Number 21, Chase Valentine, has kind of been the go-to guy for Whiteland in this second half. He's had a lot of those big runs just right up the middle. And we've got another injured Martinsville player, and this one looks, and that's 34, and that's Bo Hess. Bo Hess has been your kind of your better defensive player. But this does look like a cramp the way it's being treated. Now, once again, I don't want to pretend I'm a athletic trainer or doctor, but the way that's being treated, and I've seen enough football games and enough cramp injuries that seems to be what that is. And when you have heat like this late in the season, it's kind of a common thing. But the good thing, though, you see number 1, Ethan Potteroff, coming back onto the field. He dealt with some cramping issues earlier in this quarter. So Ethan Potteroff back on there, good. Now you hope Bo Hess can get this cramp worked out and get back on the field. This sounds bad, but it seems like any time that an Artesian player goes down and you see him working it like a cramp, it's almost like a sigh of relief because you know it's not anything more serious than that. Artesians already have lost their starting quarterback, Xavier Tinnitus. He got hurt on the very first drive to start the second half, and he is not been back in there since. His shoulder pads are off. He's got ice on his right shoulder, so he is done for the night. You just hope that it's not anything serious that's going to keep him out for an extended period of time. So here we go. Whiteland, though, first down. Artesians cannot let Whiteland get in the end zone. If Whiteland's able to punch this one in. It is going to be a really tough uphill battle for Martinsville to climb after all the injuries. And a little toss play here, and a touchdown for Whiteland. There is a flag that is thrown around the 10-yard line, though, so this may come back. We'll see. And it is. It's going to be a hold against Whiteland, so Artesian's get a break there. So a holding against Whiteland, and now a Whiteland player is down.
Ash, do you have that? I'm going to go to you, Ash. Yeah.
The Whiteland player is not. Whiteland player looks to be in some pain. He is face down.
To your right. Go your right. To your right. To your right. There he is.
And I believe that's number 1, who's the ball carrier, Gavin Lutz, who is a.
I'm going to go to 2.
Nope, check that. 81. Saw the 1, missed the 8. That's Connor Albright, receiver, defensive back for Whiteland.
All right, yeah, Ash, you can get me something else on the sideline. Okay, I'm going to go to you now, Ash. Yeah. And then, yeah, Raina walked in.
So good to see that the Whiteland player Albright, number 81, walk off on his own power. Hopefully that's just a cramp for that young man. But 4:49 left to go in the game. Artesian's down 22-16, and this second half has just kind of gone from bad to worse. And Tyler Cox, your starting running back, who had such a great first half, he also has ice on his shoulder. It is his left shoulder that he's got ice, so he's not going to come back in this game. So you've got Xavier Tonitis, who has ice on the right shoulder. Tyler Cox, your starting running back, ice on the left shoulder. And a run up the middle, and a big gain, and almost a touchdown. But another big first down run by Whiteland. And Artesian defense in this second half, just no answer for the Whiteland running game. Had a lot of answers for it in the second half, or the first half, I should say, but. So ball will be at the 8-yard line of the Artesians, with the clock running just about ready to hit 4 minutes here in the game. And Whiteland, like I said, if they score, it's going to be a tough mountain to climb to get back in this game. You're going to be looking at a quick touchdown and an onside kick. Let's see if the Artesians can force something. And it's going to be just shy of the end zone. That's going to bring them a third down. 3rd and 1 probably.
Back to 1.
Yep, so 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line, I should say. So Whiteland here, a chance to punch this in and really put this game really out of reach here with the clock running, approaching 3 minutes. Whiteland's going to use all that time. 3rd and goal from the 2. Hands it off from the outside. See if Artesian can string it up. And they do. They get a stop. They actually hit the Whiteland runner and hit him, send him backwards. Jacob Burkett in there on the tackle. They string that out. Now let's see what Whiteland does. A field goal here will put them up by 2 scores. But the clock is running. So they're going to let the clock run. I know they're going to let it run down. The play clock's at 10. So I'm guessing Whiteland, Coach Fisher, will call a timeout. We'll have about 2.5 minutes left to go in the game. And they will. Coach Fisher calls the timeout, his first of the half. There's 2:31 left to go in the game, 22-16. Whiteland, the ball is at the 4-yard line, so if you trot out your field goal kicker here, you're looking at about a 20-yard field goal. And that would put up Whiteland 25-16, so they'd be up by 9, so that would still put this a 2-possession football game for the Artesians. So if you're Artesian defense, if they trot out the field goal unit, which I think that's what Coach Fisher will do, you're hoping for a miss or a block, because if the field goal is good, it's still going to be a really tough mountain to climb. You have to score twice in 2.5 minutes, which means you're going to have to score, recover an onside kick, then score again, all within a 2.5 minute stretch. So you're looking, if you're the Artesians, for a block here or a missed field goal. If either one of those happens, Martinsville offense will have a chance, even despite all the injuries. So here you go, 20-yard field goal roughly. Kick is up. It is good. Yep. So Whiteland kicker does his job and gets the 3 points that Whiteland needed, and they've got a score of 25-16. So now the MO for the Artesians is to score and score in a hurry. Now, the good thing is if you get a nice return, that'll help out your backup quarterback, Ty Martin, number 12, who has kind of been thrown into this after the injury to Xavier Tinnitus, and just hasn't really had a lot of success. And unfortunately, Tyler Cox, your main running back, is also injured with a shoulder injury. And that's very unfortunate, because Tyler Cox had almost 100 yards rushing just in the first half. He had that big 55-yard run. And, just like I said, just didn't go backwards, just kept running forward on every run in that first half, and he got injured. And Xavier Tinnitus, he was coming into tonight's game, he's the second leading quarterback in the entire state of Indiana in passing yards. Had over 1,500 passing yards in only half of the season. So, your two big offensive players. You still got Andy Myers, Matt Thomas there on the outside, and obviously other offensive players that can help you out, but your two go-to guys are down, and that's going to be a touchback. So Andy Myers, no return, so a nice deep kick there by the Whiteland kicker, number 99, Logan Beers.
There you go.
So let's see what Coach Whitson does here. He's got a backup quarterback. And he is going to have no one in the backfield with him. So he's going to have 5 wide here. Let's see if Ty Martin can write the storybook ending here. The backup quarterback coming off the bench after the injury, and Wesley Polston. There's a flag. Wow. So even though it was incomplete, you're going to get a pass interference. Sideline official throws that flag. So that's good for the Artesians. That stops the clock and gives them 15 yards. So I think if Wesley Polston would have caught that, it would have been less. So the penalty, you probably get more yardage than you do if you would have had the reception. So pass interference on Whiteland stops the clock. Now the clock will stay at 2:22. The junior back to throw it. Tries to get Wessner, and incomplete over his head. Good no call there. It was tight coverage there by Whiteland. Just out of the reach of Craig Wessner.
Wrong guy. Back to 2 and now to 1.
But Whiteland is going to play defense so they just don't get anything deep. They're going to try not to get burnt deep. The only thing, they've got a 9-point lead with 2:18 left to go. So as long as they don't give up that really big play, Whiteland will feel all right. Martin throws it, a little miscommunication. That's picked off. And that's just miscommunication from him and Matt Thomas, as Matt Thomas kind of came back as Ty Martin, I think, thought it was a go route, and Matt Thomas was just going to keep going, and that'll do it as Whiteland gets the interception, and the Artesians will fall to 2-4, 0-4 in the conference. And that's so unfortunate because the Artesians played such a great first half. I mentioned earlier, it's probably the best half of football they have played since that second half in against Bloomington South. But once again, it's just, I know I sound like a broken record and it's tough. And there's Tyler Cox. He's one of the guys that I mentioned. And then you see in the background, Will Nix is the one with the crutches. So you got your starting quarterback and your starting running back with shoulder injuries. You don't know the severity of those as Martinsville tries to keep Whiteland and Whitson. He's not going to fight. He's going to call a timeout and try to stop the clock. And That is one thing, Whitson, you got to admire about him. This coaching staff will not quit. Yes, down 25-16 with under 2 minutes to go. Probability of a win is probably less than 1%, but he is not going to quit. He's not going to quit coaching. These players aren't going to quit playing. I guarantee you, I'm the one making the excuses up here about the injuries. He will not. Coach Whitson, his coaching staff will not make excuses. He will say it's football, injuries in football happen, and it's time for the next man up mentality. But Artesians lose their running back and quarterback in the second half to shoulder injuries. And this, like I said, a great first half played by the Artesians. They had a 16-7 lead going into the locker room, and I mentioned they got the ball to start the third quarter. And I said if Martinsville can score, that's going to put Whiteland in a really tough position because they really don't like to throw the football. But it was the exact opposite. It was a 3-and-out. That was the first series on that opening second half drive was where Xavier Tinnitus got hurt, and it just kind of went downhill from there. The defense couldn't really get the stops that they were getting in the first half, and now Whiteland's just going to run this clock out, and there's going to be a penalty against Martinsville. I think the entire defensive line jumped. They're just trying to force a turnover here. So under 2 minutes and 5-yard penalty there against Martinsville, bringing up second and short coming up for the Warriors. So the Artesians next week it'll be interesting to see who's at what position, but they will they'll be on the road again at Perry Meridian High School against the Falcons. So another conference game, obviously, next week at Perry Meridian. Artesian, and there's the football's loose, and it is picked up, and that's if there was any way that Martinsville was going to come back, it was going to be creating a turnover, and they almost had it. So Martinsville calls a quick timeout. So that timeout, I believe, is Martinsville's final timeout, so they have no more timeouts. Scoreboard says 1, so I could be wrong. So it'll be 3rd and 2 after this timeout with 1:55 to go. The Artesians down 25-16. It's still a 2-possession game. Whiteland will travel to Morgan County. They will play the Mooresville Pioneers. Mooresville in a big, important mid-state conference game against the Franklin Grizzly Cubs just down the road, 31 here at Franklin High School. Last time I heard the PA announcer announce during the first half, that was a tie ball game, 21-21, Franklin-Mooresville. So that's a good game down there at Franklin. So it'll be interesting to see what the outcome of that game it was. But right now the Artesians just, unfortunately, not the season that they've wanted. The season's obviously not over. And I know Eric Meyer and Coach Whitson during the Inside Artesian Football Coaching Show, they say it all the time. Everybody gets into the tournament. Everybody gets into the tournament. As that run gets near the first down, I think they got it. So Martinsville calls their final timeout. So they did have one more. So it's a first down, so that was enough to give Whiteland a first down. But like Coach Woodson says, everybody gets into the tournament here in the state of Indiana. You know, you don't have to qualify for the tournament. Everybody plays, no matter if you're 10-0 or 0-10. And the Artesians, one of their goals was to win the conference. That is a goal that unfortunately is not going to happen. But Artesians, they want to win a sectional championship and go as far as the tournament as they can. They are in 4A. That's a new sectional. So you're going to see some teams that you're not familiar with that aren't familiar with you. Now the big thing is where you're going to be health-wise come October. You've got about 4 to 5 weeks, depending on what your draw is. So where are you going to be at in 4 or 5 weeks? Are you still going to have these injuries? Are you going to get some players back maybe? There's a lot of questions to the health of this football team. Right now it's not good. I know Coach Whitson won't make excuses, but he will even have to admit the health of this football team is not good right now. And I'm sure this is probably one of the worst breaks injury-wise in most football teams here in Indiana. Most most teams don't lose their 2 best defensive players and their starting quarterback and their starting running back in the 6th game of the season. And that'll take a knee, as Whiteland will just knee it, and that will officially pretty much end it. The clock will run out, and that'll do it. So Whiteland will move to 3-3, 2-3 in the conference. Artesian, like I said, fall 2-4, 0-4 in the conference. Martinsville will travel to conference foe Perry Meridian High School. This broadcaster has not, I don't believe I've been to Perry Meridian High School football game in quite a long time, because they are a new member of this conference, and it's so it's been a long time, if ever, I've been to Perry Meridian High School. So that'll be interesting. Now, Perry Meridian, they're a team that they've struggled. They were 0-5 coming into this week's game, whoever they were playing. So, you look at that. You obviously can't look at the record, but, that's a game that maybe you can get a little bit. If you can get the win, get a little bit momentum back, because then you've got Mooresville for the final home game after Perry Meridian, and then your final regular season games at Plainfield. So 3 games left on the regular season. Next week at Perry Meridian, and then you've got Mooresville for the Battle of the M Trophy for the final home game, and then your last regular season game in 3 weeks at Plainfield. Artesians, though, disappointing loss, tough loss to swallow, especially after the great first half, and you've compound that with the injuries that happened in the second half, and Artesians are going to fall 25-16. And like I said, I do want to thank you if you did watch us live. We do appreciate you guys viewing and supporting these students who put together this live broadcast, and we appreciate you following us on MHS Rewind and YouTube Live. So for producer Eric Meyer and everyone else here for the MHS Rewind crew, I'm Eric Burns. Good night, everybody.